Good morning, viewers. And today we are here with a very, very special episode of Medi Chit Chat. And you will soon come to know when I say it's such a special episode because so many ladies all across the India will be able to relate to whatever we are going to discuss today. And it's such an honor to host Mini Madam with today because she's such a senior gynecologist, very dynamic, very compassionate. And today we are going to talk about midlife crisis. So मैम हम बहुत सारी बातें करें उसके पहले I want you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Richa. And I have actually enjoyed seeing all your videos. No, it's so useful. And I will be referring to Dr. Surekha Patil's recording as well. That's also very important in my topic. So now coming to myself, I am Dr. Mini Nampoothiri. I am right now a senior consultant in obstetrics and gynecology at Apollo Hospital, Navi Mumbai. I did all my education from Kerala. I happen to be in Mumbai and I'm thoroughly enjoying being in Mumbai. I'm in Mumbai since the last 20 years or so. So why I took this topic of midlife is because I am also part of the committee of FOXY. FOXY is the parent society, the overall umbrella of gynecologists here, and there is a committee called Midlife Management Committee, and I'm also part of it. And I have taken Dr. Shaijas is the chairperson of the committee, and he has coined this term, adding life to midlife, and I just love that tagline. So I have taken that also today,
Wow.
adding life to midlife.
Absolutely, ma'am. When we talk about midlife, ma'am, matlab what kind of symptoms or what kind of problems do women face when you say midlife?
So first I would like to define midlife.
Okay.
Midlife, we would say, starts at about 40 years. So it is very similar to menopause. And menopause, as generally people think it is when the periods stop. That is true, but the changes in hormones start much earlier. It starts about 5 to 6 years before that. So in women, we say that 40 to 60 is midlife. So what happens in this period of time? There is a fluctuation of all the hormones. So it is not that it goes down steadily or goes up steadily. There is a fluctuation of hormones, and that basically takes a toll on the women's health. There is so much of turmoil going on, and we really have to be prepared for all that. Now, what happens when this hormone starts fluctuating? The first and foremost which people come to us is with hot flashes. They say, I'm feeling so hot when everybody else is feeling cold. When the AC is on, I'm sweating. In office, people know that I'm having a hot flash. Now, that affects many people. They feel very uncomfortable that their colleagues come to know that they are in trouble. They get up at night. They have hot flashes at night. And the sleep is disturbed. They don't feel fresh in the morning. When you don't sleep well at night, you don't feel fresh in the morning. You don't feel ready for the day. And there could be sleep disturbances, as in delayed initiation of sleep, or getting up in between, or getting up early and then not being able to complete the sleep. So that is one part of it. Then many times the husband only complains. There's a lot of irritability. These ladies become very irritable. They had been such sweet ladies so far, but पता नहीं अभी क्यों ऐसे behave कर रहे. हर एक चीज के लिए चिड़चिड़ हो जाता है. बच्चों के ऊपर भी बहुत चिल्लाते हैं, मेरे ऊपर भी चिल्लाते हैं.
Correct.
So the husbands are also in distress because of that. Some of these women turn very emotional, start crying for reasons, and they themselves say, I don't know why I'm behaving like this. I was not like this. I know that these are not serious things, but somehow I'm feeling like crying. I'm being very unreasonably irritable and angry at everything. And then they say there's a lot of aches and pains everywhere. And periods go for a toss. See, for some people, the periods become lesser, and they just stop. And that is a wonderful way to happen. But for some people, it becomes tumultuous. There's too much of bleeding, frequent bleeding, and then they come to us with excessive bleeding. Okay. And then what else? In some people, they have difficulty in sexual intercourse. Many people are not very forthright, but when we ask and when we probe, they do say that there's a lot of dryness and they don't feel like having sex at all. And
I think that is one thing which many people must be feeling now, ma'am. There is suddenly you are just off that phase.
Correct. Yes. And when we ask them, they say, otherwise most people are not very forthright about it. But that is very much there in their
I feel somehow females are made that it is not so important. Suddenly it just wanes off your life. So that is also something. Yes. Females are born, I guess, a bit different.
To be suppressed.
Yes.
Suppressive. Yeah. And then, along with this comes the hypertension, diabetes, thyroid issues and all that.
Right.
So that is another thing. And sometimes we call it the emptiness syndrome. The children go away, they're studying. When you are 40 or 45, your children are around 20, so they go off to college to study, then they're not there at home. Your parents are old, you take care of aging parents, you take care of parents or in-laws, whoever is there with you. You sometimes have to give up your career, you have to step down to take care of all this. So all this creates a lot of frustration in women, and they come to us with various complaints like that, no?
What you said was so right, because suddenly for so many years together, after you got married, you had children, you were center of the whole house, and then suddenly everybody, if
Goes
at all,
away.
goes away. It is not a very, I can understand that feeling
But
is
there are some people who enjoy it. Some people say,
yes,
no, I'm getting time.
yes.
So it's a question of how you look at it.
Right.
Some people really enjoy this period and say that you're getting time. They take up new hobbies. So this is what I tell everybody. Start taking up new hobbies. Go out with your friends more often.
Right.
See, it's not always the family. It doesn't have to be the husband and children all the time.
Correct.
You can go out with your friends, go out for a movie, go out for a picnic, and then your inhibitions are much lesser when you're with your friends rather than your family.
Right.
If you go out with the family, it's only a change of location. The people are the same. So try to choose some different people. Try to engage in a different activity altogether, and then people enjoy it.
Ma'am, there was one subtle question which I feel that if a woman starts feeling the way you said, that suddenly she's crying, she's not sleeping well, or she's so does it present as a depression in some patients?
Yes, some people do end up with a psychiatrist. But I feel with all this put together, and some people go to the cardiologist because the palpitation happens.
Correct.
And when you close the door, suddenly there's so much of claustrophobia, you feel like opening the windows. I had a lady who had to go to US for her daughter's delivery. She was supposed to, and she couldn't go because she cannot imagine sitting in that flight for 18 hours. So she didn't go for the daughter's delivery, and she was feeling very bad about it. So people end up in all kinds of with the psychiatrist, with the cardiologist and all that. But basically, it is the hormone levels which are producing a problem. So they're finally sent back to us for management.
Okay. So if somebody is having such issues, how do you, now you have you have kind of elaborated that how she can present, and she understands that there are changes which are happening. What is the best way, ma'am, to tide over these changes in systematic way?
Yes. So first of all, we have to acknowledge that there is an issue.
Correct.
We have to accept it, and very importantly, you have to prepare for it. You must anticipate that you're going to have such a state. In India, the menopause is slightly earlier than in the West.
Yes.
It around 48 to 50 years. West is slightly later. And our longevity of women in India are rising.
Right.
So you spend about 1/3 to 1/2 of your life post-menopause. So you have to really prepare for it. We say in our Indian Menopause Society, this is what we say: if you're fit at 50, you will be independent at 80.
Oh.
You should be able to walk on your own at 80. We are all going to live in your 80s and 90s. We are going to live it.
Correct.
So because of all the good medical care that we are having now, life is extended now. So you have to, तैयारी ना बहुत important है.
Right.
First and foremost is physical fitness. Shed your weight in your mid age. It is midlife crisis में एक चीज ये है कि obesity हो जाता है.
Correct.
You eat the same amount of food, you do the same exercise, but your waistline bulges. So and most people are careful with what they eat.
Right.
So you have to increase your exercise, get that flab out. You really work hard and get it out. So physical fitness is very, very important. You can start taking up hobbies, or some people turn very religious at that time, which is fine.
Yes.
Do whatever that makes you peaceful. And financial independence is very important.
Correct.
Women just they just leave everything. They think, I don't know finances, I don't know how to do investments. So even doctors are now learning how to do investments.
Agreed.
And all.
Yes.
So that financial independence is very important. So physical, emotional and financial independence is very important. Train yourself, prepare yourself right now.
Correct. Ma'am, there must be also some kind of fear, I would say, which comes with this age, probably of losing your parents or losing your partner or losing whatever.
Yes,
so how
yes.
do you feel with so much of extensive, you have such extensive, what I would say, experience with all the patients and yourself. How do you tell a woman that how she should be coping with all these fears? of her this midlife crisis.
It is there, and that is why I'm telling you, more and more people turn religious during this time. And with the friend circle and a good companionship is very important. No, they have to.
So you need to have bonding to share with
yes.
somebody.
This is when people start getting back to their school groups and college groups, and then it is as though we have just seen them yesterday. We pick it up from there. So.
Right.
Keeping your friend circle active is very, very important.
Right. And with new social media, and you can form nice close bonded groups, and you can actually start with all those things which you really enjoyed together and get back. I also wanted you to highlight about you told about exercise. I also wanted you to talk about other alternative activities which you wanted to highlight about yoga and
so that is why I said Dr. Surekha Patil had given a talk on yoga, and it is very good. Yoga is very good for relaxation mentally and physically. You need to what is health? Health is not just health, is strength, endurance, flexibility, agility, and balance.
Okay.
These 5 together is fitness. Sorry, not health
but
is fitness.
True.
So you need to have all these, and I feel, and I'm sure many people agree, that yoga is a thing which gives you all this, that balance, flexibility, and then endurance. Of course, not much, but endurance, you can go for walks, you can go for runs, you can do all that, and yes, meditation goes a long way.
2 more things, ma'am, because we have an absolute honor and opportunity to talk to you. We can see these loads of medals behind you. So please do tell us that how did you get inclined to these marathon running? Not that everybody can run a marathon, but at least running.
Richa, I'm a poor runner. I just finished. I managed to finish. I started all this after I turned 50.
Wow.
I was also, trying to shed weight, trying to find out what I can do for fitness. And then I happened to stumble into this group, and I really thoroughly enjoyed being with them. And that is how I started running. And I did do a few podium finishes also.
Okay.
But then, of course, I am on the, older side and less women run. So I managed to get a podium. But there are many people who do this. And as I said, it was a different group altogether, not my usual friends. I saw a new set of people, so I was really interested.
Okay.
That goes a long way in keeping you engaged.
So what you have said, you have actually practiced in your life.
Yes.
And so you have the authority to say, please bring about some changes.
That is why I've kept it here, so that I can tell people,
Right.
you do exercise. It
Right.
really changes you.
Ma'am, this is one thing. And second thing I wanted to know, if somebody is around 40, 45, so what kind of supplementations or what kind of nutrition do you personally advise to these women?
So, before that, I would say that everybody should have a annual checkup is very important, because your mammography, your pap smear, nowadays the cancers are going up, especially the breast cancer and ovarian cancer. So annual checkup is very, very important. So please check your vitamin D. So even if you don't check, I think it is okay. Everybody is deficient. Whenever we do a checkup, I don't think we find anybody who's really full of vitamin D. So you have to have vitamin D supplements, and calcium also goes along.
Right. So at least calcium and vitamin D, you would recommend that people should definitely add. Anything special in nutrition and diet which you say that you start focusing on that? Since you are a runner, I absolutely know that you can talk on nutrition and diet much better than many of us.
No way. So we feel that proteins are important for the kids, but proteins are important for the elderly also. Okay. We also shed a lot of layers, inside our mucosa. Everything is shed daily. So a lot of protein is required. Protein needs to be there. We could reduce a little bit on carbohydrates, because that is the one which makes you put on weight. Add lot of vegetables, sprouts, lot of fruits and salads and all that, and make your food all multicolored. The multicolored gives you all kinds of vitamins.
Right. Ma'am, I wanted, because we touched something about hot flushes and vaginal dryness. So these are 2 different kind of symptoms completely. One is vasomotor and other one is more of a local problem. So I wanted to know, what is your take on estrogen supplementations?
Estrogen supplementation, I am very liberal with estrogen supplementation these days, because people find it really, really relieving. Earlier, we used to be very hesitant about giving estrogen. So that is where the importance of annual checkup is. When you do these checkups, we can give hormones with a little bit more ease. When you know that the patient is otherwise okay, cholesterol is okay, BP, sugar, then they also come for regular checkup. That is also there.
Right. So you do recommend it. So
Yes.
I think in short term, to relieve the symptoms if
You
you're
can
using
give.
it,
Yes, yes.
and under a doctor's guidance, do
Of
not
course.
go over the counter
There are
and start
people
take it.
who are so relieved that they don't come back.
Okay.
So and they don't come back for follow up also. Whenever we follow up with them, they say we are so happy now, nothing is there. But that is also not to be done. We need to be under
Some doctor's
yeah.
checkup. We spoke so much about so many things about midlife crisis and much beyond, ma'am. Anything else from your side which you want to add?
Yeah, and there is a set of people who want to have children during that time.
Correct.
People, they look so much at their career and all that. They marry late. Even after marrying, they postpone their pregnancy for long. By the time they decide on pregnancy, they are 42, 43.
Correct.
So that is one subset of people who are coming to us, and that is exactly not the best age for childbearing. But still, there are so many options available, and people do conceive and they do go through pregnancy. They may have some troubles like hypertension, diabetes, but under good supervision, they will do well.
Those are anyway rising, and we
Yeah.
are also getting better
Correct.
trained at managing
And
those
even
problems.
those congenital anomalies, chromosomal
Right,
anomalies, we
right.
can pick up a few of them, not
Right,
all.
right.
But anyway, they are doing
It's a
well.
personal choice,
Yeah.
and we can provide whatever best to our. Thank you so much, madam. It was such a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure we will catch up once again for a new topic, and it was such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Mini
so
ma'am.
much,
Thanks a lot.
Richa.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Bye.
you.